the scale of the tragedy was also acknowledged by Mr. Jinnah.
I hope you're not blaming me for that.
Well, I can't help thinking of your two nations theory.
I said only what was already on the mind of Congress.
I'm not sure if Nehru or Gandhi would agree with that.
Let me ask you, who first brought religion into Indian politics? Who inflamed the masses of this country? You must remember, they did. Well, now we see those masses are human beings, not saints.
Mr. Jinnah had come from a very sophisticated Bombay society, where they were sophisticated people. They talked of law and order and this and that. But the real people, they were partitioned. Their hearts were partitioned. Their minds were partitioned.
Perhaps only Gandhi, now fasting for peace, understood what had happened.
I remember your beautiful words when we first met in the garden, how everything had been blended to perfection.
That was a garden, not a wilderness. Took skill and devotion and love. It's I who am fasting, not you. Please.
I want you to know that we wholeheartedly support what you are doing.
God is humbling my pride. I am being severely tested. Still, my heart is full of joy.
He was a realist. His fasts unto death were always meant to influence people who loved him. The Pakistan demand was voiced by Muslims who at that time did not love him. They distrusted him. There was no way in which a fast unto death, resulting in his death, would have averted Pakistan.
On August the 14th, Pakistan, the world's first Islamic state, came into existence. In just 10 years, Mr. Jinnah had taken the fanciful idea of a Muslim homeland and turned it into a nation.
It was a happy day. We had attained whatever we wanted, you see.
"12 hours later, India followed, to become the world's largest democracy. On August the 15th, Jawaharlal Nehru made his first speech as Prime Minister at the stroke of midnight.
Long years ago, we made a tryst with destiny, and now the time comes when we shall redeem our pledge, not wholly or in full measure, but very substantially. At the stroke of the midnight hour, when the world sleeps, India will awake to life and freedom. A moment comes which comes but rarely in history, when we step out from the old to the new, when an age ends, and when the soul of a nation long suppressed finds utterance. We are a free and sovereign people today, and have rid ourselves of the burden of the past. We look at the world with clear and friendly eyes, and at the future with faith and confidence.
Lahore is empty, half empty. The buildings are burning. So this sort of freedom I didn't visualize. Maybe the others did, and they didn't mind, but I didn't feel the freedom at all.
British rule ended in India on August the 15th, 1947.
There was this wonderful feeling, you know, I was not born free, and for me to realize suddenly that now I'm free, it was a very wonderful feeling. And then there was the tragedy that my country, my beloved country, has been partitioned.
But as the last Viceroy, Lord Mountbatten, transferred power, the 400 million people of the subcontinent did not know where the borderline was that divided India from the new state of Pakistan. Only after Independence Day was Sir Cyril Radcliffe's award published, a line driven through the Punjab that pleased neither Hindus, Muslims or Sikhs. Against his instincts, Mountbatten had been forced to split the country in two, but the timetable was his. He failed completely to foresee the human consequences of partition, and failed to prepare for the chaos and upheaval that followed.
The amount of misery and I saw amongst these people who came crying, will my child come? I left my child near such and such place. Will somebody go and fetch that child? I don't know where my husband went. Was he killed? I, as a young woman, thought, no. Why did we do all this and kill each other where we had lived for hundreds and hundreds of years together?
It seemed in the aftermath of independence that the whole of the Punjab had taken to the road looking for safety.
My job was to take an estimated number of 40,000 civilians on foot across 250 miles into Pakistan. The noises the camels were making would be quite extraordinary, the grinding of the wheels and the dust everywhere.
All the time, I've seen women with swollen eyes. All the time they were crying. Their children were killed, their brothers were killed, their husbands were killed. I've seen people crying and crying and crying. They were praying and hoping that they should cross the border. They should cross the border. If they cross the border, they will be left alive.